Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm filming from my hotel room at the Sheraton Boston Hotel. And this is a wine that I purchased at Abe and Louie's. We were having dinner there and I thought it was nice wine list wine. It wasn't too overpriced and I've never had it. So it's the Jacques-Frédéric Mugnier 2022 Chambolle Musigny. And as viewers and subscribers know, Chambolle Musigny is one of the areas that I love to drink, so I was really interested in seeing this. So a little bit about the winery. It is a very old winery. It started, the history of it started with Frédéric Mugnier's great-great-grandfather, whose name was Francois. It started around, he was born in 1826, and he had a very successful company in Dijon. At that time, they were in the 1800s, there was a phylloxera crisis. A lot of the wineries were kind of going bankrupt, and so he got to buy up a lot of these wineries that they now own today. They own about 14 hectares of vineyard. I think 4 are in Chambolle Musigny and 10 are in Nuits-Saint-Georges. So what happened is right after he purchased these wineries, he died shortly thereafter, and he left his only son, who also died. And so by French estate law, it gets divided among like 7 children. And so although the winery thrived, it was kind of not really, they were not, basically it was just because they had great winery sites, vineyard sites. Then Marcel, who is the grandfather of Frederic, who is now the owner, winemaker at the estate now, he purchased all the his sister's shares, and then his brothers all died fairly young. So a lot of death in this family for some reason, and they were lucky because those guys didn't have children, so it was very easy. So after Marcel's death, his wife and his son Jacques-Frédéric managed the property. Jacques-Frédéric was born in 1923, so that's the father of the current winemaker Frederic, and he was a banker by trade, did some business in Saudi Arabia, and so he basically didn't really know that much about the winery, so he decided to lease the vineyard sites to, I believe it's Favely, and he renewed it a couple of times. And then when he wanted to get it back, for some reason, there's some type of law in France that it's almost like landlord-tenant and helps the tenant. So the lessee, it's very hard to get back the land. And so they had to make some type of deal whereby he only got a little bit of his land back, and the rest of it he had to give to Favely to lease for another 25 years. So that was in 1977. Meanwhile, he passed away, and then his son, who's the current winemaker, Frederic, took over. But at that time, he only had, I think, 4 hectares he could use for his own wines. But at first, most of their wines were sold to negociants like Jadot. So they still really didn't have enough grapes to really make any wines. So that all changed when the lease expired finally, and that was around 2001. And that's why you don't, even though the winery is a long time, you don't see a lot of old Mugnier. And so that's when they got back their whole staple of vineyard sites, and now they produce I think 7 red wines and 1 white wine. This is what they consider the entry level. But one of the things that Frederic is known for is to make sure that he tries to have very little of his own influence. He's a minimalist. He wants the terroir to speak for itself. So he uses 100% of his grapes are destemmed, and they are aged in 12 to 18 months in barrels. 30% are new, and there's no filtration and no fining of the wines. So this wine is called their village wine, and it is still spectacular as a village wine. The wines are made from the grapes taken from 2 vineyard sites, Le Plan and Le Gomme de Vaux, and those wines are from 1952. The annual production of the wine is about 3,000 to 7,000 bottles, which is very little. I know people are gonna kill me, but this is all the hotel has. They don't have any wine glasses in the room, or else I didn't spot them. I'll try and look again. But trust me, the wine was in the proper glasses last night when I had it at Abe and Louis. And it was very, very aromatic. So let's see what happens overnight. I put it in the fridge. Let's see what we're gonna do. Probably the aroma is not gonna be great in this cup, but you gotta make do whenever you can. And as I'm swirling, I actually can smell it quite. It is quite aromatic, as Chambolle is known to be quite aromatic. So on the nose, you still have, despite this weird cup, it's still very aromatic, clear classic of Chambolle. Some flowers like roses, some black plums, raspberries. So everything is there. And it's amazing how a great wine can just show so nicely in just like a paper cup. This is why I really love Chambolle, because it's got that weight. So it's got a nice dark fruit. And one of the things is with Burgundy, I find that some things I don't like is a really tart cherry and too light. This is more dark fruit, like black cherries, black plums, and then a little bit of violets, good medium bodied, just classic Chambolle, and a lot of flavors that pop through. A little bit of oak, not very much, but the aftertaste is a little bit of earthiness and tree bark, but all those almost like slightly savory tastes, which I associate with Chambolle. And this is a really well-made wine. It's young, I'm sure it can age. And this is an example when you have a great producer with great vineyards. It's village, but no one can tell me this is not a great wine. This is, and unfortunately, that is also recognized by most wine people, because you'd think village wines are going to be cheap. This is probably not that cheap. I think I paid about $330 US for it in Abe and Louis, and I'm thinking they mark it up pretty much. But you know, if you were in the $150, $200 range for this bottle, I don't think it's too much. It's a really, really nice wine, very ageable, very nice Chambolle. So my rating of this wine is going to be 93 points. It is really nice. And again, this is a classic example of how a village wine can still be exceptional. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, happy drinking.